last couple of months here.
I mean, first and foremost, Nikola Jokic is having the best season of his career, which is saying something, given that he's one of only 9 men to ever win 3 MVPs, right? And you look at what Denver's been offensively, just incredible. But the thing I look at is what's happened in the starting lineup and what they're getting from their bench. They were getting absolutely pummeled when Nikola Jokic was not on the floor. They were being outscored by 18.5 points per 100 possessions with Jokic on the bench. Since those first 21 games, it's been a much more manageable number. Why? Aaron Gordon has become a fixture off the bench, and Russell Westbrook has gone into the starting lineup. And Russ is having a terrific season. This is a guy who's taken so much flack in recent years.
Yeah.
But Nikola Jokic wanted to take a chance on him. He believed in him in Denver. And Russ has proven why Jokic had that faith. He's having a career year when it comes to field goal percentage. He's having his best three-point percentage season since his MVP year. And this month, he's shooting 53% from the floor. The last 15 games that Denver has used this current starting lineup, of which Russ is a part of, they're 11-4. Part of that is the way they played as a starting lineup, and part of that is also the way it has stabilized the bench, having Gordon coming off of it, and then also with DeAndre being a part of the rotation as well.
You know, Russ has always been a player's player, but you're really seeing now why he is so many guys' favorite teammate over the years. Ryan Ruocco, you bet we're looking forward to seeing you on the call a little bit later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Curry did not play last night in the Warriors' win over the Jazz here. He's listed as questionable tonight, but Steve Kerr, he said he is hopeful that he is in the lineup. SGA and the Thunder, they are on the back end of a 2-game road trip here. So for more on the Oklahoma City Thunder, our reporter Tim McMahon is live at Chase Center. Howdy, Tim. The Thunder, they continue to dominate the West here despite being without Chet Holmgren. I think a lot of folks forget since November 10th. So let's check in there. What's the latest on Chet's health?
Howdy, Malika. Chet Holmgren's still a big part of the Thunder's plans this season, but not their immediate plans. He's going to be reevaluated at some point early to mid-February. Now, his fellow 2022 lottery pick, Jalen Williams, this is a guy who has been a massive part of their success this season, somebody who the Thunder are adamant should hear his name called with the All-Star reserves tomorrow night, but somebody that he will remind you, as well as Coach Mark Daigneault, he's still very early in the developmental process. You know, this is, a few years ago, he was here in the Bay Area as a relative no-name at Santa Clara, just kind of on the fringe of NBA draft radars. He's gotten better and better and better. His numbers are up across the board this year, except in efficiency, and that's kind of part of the plan. His challenge from Sam Presti and Daigneault was to attack relentlessly, be relentlessly aggressive on both ends of the floor. Part of that is he's accepted the challenge, learning how to attack smaller gaps in the defense, hitting seams that maybe he wouldn't have in the past, finish through contact, draw fouls. These are all things that it's a learning process now. They're hoping it will pay off come playoff time.
Tim McMahon, thank you so very much. We will see you later for Golden State versus Oklahoma City here. Now, the All-Star reserves, as McMahon just mentioned, it's certainly going to be something that's really interesting to watch here. They're released tomorrow afternoon. Kirk, Shanae, got to get back up into the seat here. Shanae, the biggest question with the Warriors, it continues to be what they're going to do ahead of the deadline here. How urgent do they need to be in these moves?
Steph gave them some wiggle room by saying, hey, you know, the longer process is probably what we need to do a couple weeks back, even though that's not normal for a star of his caliber. He has so much equity to be able to say, I want to do it now. But I think the problem that they face, particularly when it comes to the Golden State Warriors, is this has been a great opportunity for other players to step up. They have their key players on the bench, out for injury. Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, who has made themselves. You always say you want to audition for the role you want in the NBA. Unfortunately, we haven't seen those answers from any of his teammates.
Well, you also want to audition to play with greatness in Steph Curry, right? And you don't never want to take that for granted. You know how many people have regrets that played with a LeBron James, that played with a Steph Curry, that played with guys and never maximized or took it for granted that you would actually share in a locker room and being able to be around those guys on a day-to-day basis. So when I look at this short stint for those guys in those locker rooms, and yes, it's hard, right? As a guy that was traded twice at the trade deadline. It's hard to walk into a locker room and give an organization your all, knowing that you hearing the whispers and the rumors that your ass might be out of there.
But you still want to be a professional. You know what's crazy? I think we talk a lot about the bad when it comes to Golden State. Here's a little bit of the good. Their current record is 23-23. They're 11th in the West, which is kind of crazy. That shows you how deep and how stacked the Western Conference is. But if they win 3 games, they could be 5th in the West.
That's a big if.
It's
roster. They struggling to win one.
Especially with Steph in the balance.
Right, particularly when you look at their upcoming schedule, it doesn't necessarily get easier for them with games against the Thunder, the Suns, the Magic.
Yikes.
Yeah, it doesn't get easier, particularly ahead of the trade deadline here. So let's play a little pick'em game, shall we? We're going to start here with SGA and Steph Curry. Who do you think is going to be the showstopper in the Thunders and Warriors game here, Shanae?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be SGA. The Warriors right now are kind of in a little bit of a blender, and that man, Anthony Edwards, said it, and ever since then, I can't unhear it. He is the hardest player to guard in the NBA. Now, I know Nikola Jokic has given that conversation a run for its money, but in this matchup, hands down, it's SGA.
I don't want to sound disrespectful to Steph because we know that he's putting people to sleep, but I'm going with SGA as well. I think when you watch this young man, MVP front runner, leading the league in scoring, is not going to stop tonight, and we know he has history in Golden State.
Yeah, a little lick back.
I can't wait for his social media.
Oh, yeah, the Instagram captions are elite. All right, the game changer, we're going to go with the 2 centers for the Nuggets and the Knicks here. Perk, Nikola Jokic or Karl Anthony Towns?
I'm going with Karl Anthony Towns.
No surprise.
He's been no. It's a surprise. Now, we're talking about the best player in the league, but Karl Anthony Towns has been having his way with Jokic over the last 5 matchups, especially early in the season.
You know what, Perk? You said the last 5 matchups, right? What about the last 50? That man, Nikola Jokic, has been having his way with everybody and their mama, everybody. And so for him to be career highs in points and assists and number 2 in rebounds, also given the fact that they beat them last time out, I think the Joker is going to try to get a little bit of revenge.
Okay, so that's individual players, but what about teams here? Who can make the biggest statement in this game, Shanae?
Woo! Who's going to make the biggest statement?
The Warriors, OKC against the Warriors, or the Knicks against the Nuggets? Yeah.
Honestly, I do think it's going to be OKC.
Okay.
I think this is a shifting of the guard, in the sense that for so long, the Warriors have been the standard. They've been the dynasty. They've run the West. But now we've seen this team be at the top of the West for 2 years in a row. And so I think this has been a little bit of a shift. What's wrong, Perk?
Stop that. That's not a statement. The Warriors stink, and OKC has the best.
I'm talking about the long run.
Now, the statement is the Knicks handling business tonight against the Nuggets, right? You talk about Jokic coming in. He's going to want to get his lick back. The Nuggets have been playing well. Jamal Murray has elevated his game, but the Knicks at the crib, going against a team that's looking them eye to eye for title favorites, I think that make a big mistake.
You know what? You are so compelling, Perk. I think I'm going to switch over here.
Oh,